What's good? This is Y and Z conversations between the generations. They say we don't get along. They say that younger generation is just a little different. What we're gonna do here is talk about it. Let's see, we gonna make it happen any way, shape, or form. My brother, the member of the Z here, is in the car. Xavier Lewis. I'm Jay Clark, the Y, aka the Millennial. You're not living out that car, are you, brother?
Man, please. Look, just promise something. I'm not homeless. I'm not homeless. In the process of moving, but I'm not homeless.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I am committed to this podcast, man. I'm committed to the conversations we have, and I love them. I look forward to this every single week, having this conversation with this salt and pepper brother over there, having this conversation, having these conversations with him. I'm excited. So let's hop in, man. What you got for me today?
Like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, and here we go. Let's get into it. Um, so I saw this article on USA Today. We're in the midst of the NFL playoffs. So let's not talk about what happened this past weekend with my Cowboys. But it was sports focused, and really what it kind of boiled down.
Sell out. Whew, sell out. Jesus. Those allergies really act up when the weather starts changing.
Anywho, um, I'll post the articles below if you want to check it out. But really, what I talked about how is y'all are kind of disassociated from sports in a way that's been different than any other generation. Now, context, I'm sure if you've been paying attention to the sports world over the past year, you've seen some changes that these leagues have been making to get these younger kids' attention. You've got Taylor Swift over every Chiefs game, being shown probably more than any other player on the field so far this NFL season. And one of the biggest changes we saw was like Major League Baseball. They made a bunch of changes to improve broadcast and the game itself to address some issues that I guess Gen Z has. But at the core of it, essentially it came down to the fact that, they surveyed different generations, and let me pull up the direct number. So in 2021, only 23% of Generation Z, this you, describe themselves as passionate sports fans, as opposed to 42% of millennials, 33% of Generation X, and 31% of the baby boomers. But here's what's really got crazy was they asked, like, I guess the opposite of that question is how much are you are like anti-sports? And so for millennials and other generations, our responses are in the single digits. So essentially you're looking at 9% and below. Gen Z clocked in at 27% of those surveys as anti-sport. What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all?
I'm gonna speak for myself. Um, by the time we came along, it was almost like what else is there left to be done?
What do you mean though?
Like
Like
I feel like all of the great stuff that happened in sports happened in y'all's childhood.
you got LeBron. LeBron is your childhood. Like that's your like some of
Still,
the
but
greatest
that's a person.
players.
So that's a person, not a franchise.
So you're saying there's real.
I think
There's no reason for y'all to watch or play or just enjoy. Like there's nothing for y'all to enjoy.
right. I think there's just no like overwhelmingly besides like the Golden State Warriors. The thing, that's one franchise that my whole generation is probably like in love with, only because we were able to see their rise in our generation. Most other franchises, football, basketball, baseball or whatever, they were already established before we got here. So it's kind of like we're not that passionate to them because we weren't around for the whole roller coaster ride. So if anything, it's just the whole game is different. It's more about a person than it is about the franchise. So if it's just about a person, I can see the person in mainstream media. Well, I don't have to watch the game to know what they're doing. I don't have to go to the game to see them like that.
So y'all don't care about the actual sport itself. Like y'all. So what you're saying is
No.
you're not going to find a basketball fan. You're not finding a football fan. You're not finding
Nah.
a baseball. Like y'all just
Nah.
what this is a first in
Nah.
our podcast so far. Like I'm really sitting here like on this like what's wrong with y'all?
Like, we why would we?
it's something to do. It's something to enjoy. Like,
We don't want to do that. We want to be with our friends. We want to go to brunch. We don't want to go to the basketball. The only reason we might go to like a football game or basketball game is to get a good picture.
again with this. Okay.
Point,
Okay. All right. So,
point, wait. It's
so
all about the one moment.
okay. So let me call BS here because what you just said was we don't want to go out and do these things. We want to go out and do others. So the
Right.
article didn't just focus on sports. I know you read it because I sent it to you.
Mm.
Um, at the core of it was y'all are lonely and isolated as fuck, to put it blatantly. And what this one, like, this is just one example of how antisocial y'all are and how it translates to the fact that y'all don't get out and don't have community, don't engage. This is just one example because like it was talking about how like sports, like you go to the bar to watch, or you're getting up with friends,
Right,
watch the
right.
game, or you're talking about, or you're going to the game. Like it's one more example of how y'all are just antisocial and against community and lonely and isolated as fuck. And y'all cool.
Man, okay. I can't speak for that because I know I'm an extrovert, but I will say that majority of my generation, because they're so picky, they're so picky. If I know, me personally, I know when I can look over a few faults in somebody, or it might not be everything I'm looking for in that particular community, but for the most part, it's my community, right? So, every single person who likes R&B music, I'm not going to agree with them, but that doesn't mean that that's not my community of people.
Okay.
So, but most of my generation, they're like, oh, if I can't get along with everybody, I'm not doing it. And they would rather be antisocial than just having that mindset of, oh, I can look past that. They won't even look past that. It's horrible. I hate it. There are literally people who will just, go to work, go back home, go to work, go back home, go to work, go back home, maybe get a pet, go to work, go back home, be with the pet, go to work, back home. And, that's just not my cup of tea. They just don't feel that there is a need for community. And I'm completely against that. I don't get that.
Y'all are so quick to complain how lonely and how you can't find, like, and not even in like a dating sense. I've got
Nah, seriously,
I
this
got
is like life.
I got nieces in your demographic and whatnot, and it's always, I don't have no friends. I don't want to go do nothing. And like literally all they do is just chill, isolated in a room where they place what on the damn phone or laptop or streaming something. And it's like, can y'all get out into the world and experience it? Like, what the?
Nah, for real. It's that like I want to do stuff, but I don't want to do stuff alone. That's different. I
But
will do stuff to the point where, but it's like they don't want to do social stuff alone because then they think, I don't know if they just like they need another person. I don't know what their mindset is, but I'm gonna tell you what mine is. If I know I'm craving like social interaction, I'm gonna go to a social environment and be social. But it's like other people in my generation, they'll crave social interaction and won't do anything about it. Oh, I don't have any friends, but you continue doing the same thing. Like that's delusion. They're delulu.
what? So what are y'all expecting out of the world with like these kind of like, yeah, because this is foundational here. Like this is something that's just
Right, right.
like this is one of those things where y'all aren't happy with the life and the world, and this is your own doing to it. Like y'all can't blame nobody because you ain't got no friends or you feel like you ain't got something to do. Like this is the world of your own creating. Like that's it's things like sports which let like for example, so you know, my wife and I we moved to New Zealand right before COVID. And so it was her job that brought us over there. And so I'm having to learn the environment and get engaged with people to find jobs, to network, to and you know what one of the biggest ways of that was? I joined a rugby team. Rugby is the huge sport over there. So one way for
Wow.
me to get out and meet people, engage with people, not in a hey, can you hook me up with a job? Can you do something? Was
Right, right.
join this rugby team, play, have fun, do the after game drinks, socializing, whatever it may be, and the network started to grow from there. So it's not like these are the ways that you survive in the world. Like, God forbid, I'm seriously questioning how some of y'all are simply surviving in this world, especially once you have to get out of your
Nah,
house, which is what a lot of y'all are really experiencing now, trying to get out on your own, and it's not going so well. You're doing it now, though. You're doing it now. You really.
nah, yeah, yeah. And the only thing, and I guess that's why I feel like I'm old school per se, is because I don't mind. Like, let's just say somebody, let's just say, they start working a job or whatever, and yeah, you just put in those 8 hours. But let's just say your coworkers be like, yeah, we're going to go have happy hour somewhere. Go, go enjoy that time. Go enjoy that feeling of community because and I talked about this on my own podcast one time, and I was just like, I hate the idea that I don't need nobody else. I'm fine by myself.
No,
You
no.
will live a lonely existence with that mindset. And no one's always saying it's going to be professional. Like, there are people out there there are people out there that actually want other people to, vibe with too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why they think like that. I don't know why that's the overall like generalizing. I don't know. They think the world. I just don't know. I don't know. They think the world is too ghetto or something, and they don't want to be outside, but they want to be outside. I, you know,
This kind of thing really makes me sad for y'all because this is one and nobody's saying it's easy. Like I understand. Like
right.
literally, me and my wife, we moved to a new country, didn't know nobody, unfamiliar with customs, unfamiliar
Yeah,
like so
from scratch.
I understand that struggle of having to acclimate, getting used, getting new, getting out. And yes, it is scary. But damn it, at some point, you gotta put your big boy draws, your big girl draws on and step out and do it. One of the best pieces of advice my grandfather ever said was it's not always what you know, it's who you know. And we see that all the time in a variety of areas. But if you're not out here
So much.
creating and generating community and simply getting to know people, regardless of purpose, whether it's dating, friendship, we,
Yeah,
we simply hang out because we like Pokemon cards or we talk about like whatever it may be. You got to build a network. The other saying, your network is your net worth. This whole social
yeah.
identity, like y'all are too dependent on your social identity existing online, and it's sad. It's sad.
Like it's cool. It's cool that you got a friend that you always texting on social media that lives halfway across the country. But what are
Yeah,
you gonna do when you want to go out? What
right.
are you gonna do? Right now, now you've limited your social interactions to your ability to pay for a flight or your ability to do all that. When you have viable people right where you are that is able to satisfy that craving, because that's a craving majority. I can't say everyone has a social craving, but at least majority of the people alive have this craving to want to be social. It's just up to
It's human
us.
nature. It's human nature.
Right, it's just up to us to want to take that next step to be like, okay, yeah, this might not, I don't know if if my generation, we're thinking like, oh, I want it to be easier than that. Oh, I want it to just be, sat in my lap or something like that. Or maybe it's the fear of being rejected. Because what happens if you try to, become close to someone? What happens if you try to join a community of people and they kind of reject you?
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. That was any kid's childhood growing up pre y'all. Like rejection is a part of life. And unfortunately what it is y'all are having some of them needs met because of this digital community, but it can't address everything. Like it can't address
Nah,
there's no substitute for some things. And this is a deep top. We're gonna touch on this probably in a variety of ways. Like I said, this was
that's so good, bro.
sports thing. But like at the end, like I said, I'll post the link if anybody else wants to check it out. Y'all are
Read
wrong
that article.
and antisocial, and it's a damn shame. And I'm sure we'll come back to it in a bunch of different times in a bunch of different ways. But I gotta toss it to you, brother. What's your beef with me and other millennials this week? What you trying to get off your chest or find out about?
I blame your generation for just gonna say it. What were you all thinking with those alcoholic choices that you passed down to us? I am sorry. I am sorry. Why did you introduce us to Everclear, Diesel? Why did you introduce us to Mad Dog 2020?
Those
Knowing that when we woke up the next morning, it would feel like we were knocked upside the head with that bottle.
okay. First of all,
Why did you give us those horrible, disgusting drinks that would get us drunk very fast for cheap?
see once now. See, okay, this is where y'all got to understand rites of passage. Rites of passage. Like, first of all, that's not us. Like, that's not something we owned. Everclear been around for who knows how long. Mad Dog
But
2020.
no one was swallowing like fish until you all. You all are demons.
So okay, so let's just say that was us, right? We know it's not. But let's just say it's us. You said it. You're in a point of life right now, or let's just say your college days, because that's when a lot of this occurs. You said
Right.
it yourself, cheap. Like you ain't got the funds for top shelf. Like this makes so one of the most popping spots during my time at Howard. Two stories here. One of the most popping spots during my time at Howard was this place called Pure. Every Friday for happy hour, drinks were $1. We're talking bottom shelf, plastic bottle liquor. But damn it, drinks was $1. You could go in there with a 5 spot, with a 10 spot, feeling like a king. You weren't running up no 4 or 5 figure bill. You could go up in there with a dub. Like, oh, you want a drink, shorty? Go. It's on me. It's on me. Round for my fellas. I got the first one, fellas. No problem. Oh, you got the next one. Like that's at a phase in life. Cheap liquor is what it's about because that's what you can afford, and that's what it's about. The other second story was my freshman year in college. Thirsty Thursday was a big thing because I went to this white school
Thirsty Thursday.
where I learned about Thirsty Thursday, and literally before going out, if we were going out sometimes or just getting ready to turn up, you would literally have a circle of niggas, not everybody black, but the circle of the crew. I think it was called Belikov. Plastic bottle of vodka, red and white label, some figure on the front. I think it was Belikov. We would literally stand there in that circle, pass that whole around.
Oh,
It was empty. I can't drink vodka to this day because of them days. But like it's a rite of passage. Cheap liquor. That's the phase of life you're in. You can't afford top stuff yet. You're not there
but
yet.
like, okay, I guess this goes deeper into the question. Why do you all feel like we need to do the exact same rite of passage?
So once again, it kind of comes to that monoculture life.
Okay.
Really, with the thumbs down, really. Which is not something y'all really know about. There is beauty in shared experiences and being like almost how you phrased the question. You mentioned Everclear, which is a specific brand of cheap liquor,
Right, right, right.
but it's one that a lot of people know about and have had experience with. So the fact that you can mention it and instantly, I automatically know what you're talking about. I know
Got
instantly. And
to.
so there is beauty in that. I don't think it's not one of those things where it's like, okay, you have to have the same experience as me, one for one. But there is beauty in that shared experiences, especially across generations. And that's one of the reasons
Yeah,
the show is we're trying to find out where that is, what it looks like, or what might be so different with y'all. With y'all, it's been harder because in certain realms, monoculture doesn't exist anymore. I would argue with alcohol, even though we're seeing an expansion of different brands and varieties, there are still some staples that have just been around forever that you'll see
yeah.
in every gas station, liquor store, every whether it's in the hood, the suburbs, or the country. You're gonna see some stuff that's going to be everywhere. Everclear will
Right.
be kind of one of those brands, and so I think you're missing out on the beauty of that shared experience versus, let's just say, to take it to everybody's favorite bad guy right now, music. You could have mentioned a specific artist in this conversation that you had a gripe with me or something like that, and I could have been like, "Who? I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard." Like, but as you see, where there are still things that like everybody can kind of share in,
Right.
like I said, there's a beautiful like image like like another memory. I haven't touched Everclear since sophomore year at Howard. Like because I literally had the experience, me and my boy being underage, and being able to get a bottle of Everclear cheap and easily, killed between the two of us that bottle in about 30 minutes. I was messed up. And then got sober and thought I was good. And somehow got re-drunk without drinking anything else. That ish came back up and kicked my butt again and had me down for the night. But like, yeah, like
Why? How are you still alive?
because I was young. I'm no longer a child and I put some childish things behind me. Like I said, I ain't touched Everclear since that day.
But man, you phrased it. You phrased it so beautifully, though, man. I guess it really is. There really is beauty in shared experiences, and
Yeah,
especially when that could cross, regional lines. Because some people, there
yep,
are regionally some shared experiences that everyone might have. Everclear could cross racial lines. You know what I'm saying? So it's really beauty in shared experiences that you had in your youth. So
yeah,
it's like just the beauty of shared experiences of your youth. So you phrase, I mean, I still feel how I feel, but you phrased it so very nicely to where I'm not really mad about it.
part of like I said, part of it is like I can get some of the anger, like like and that's kind of y'all's thing is why do we have to do this or why do we have to go through this? And sometimes it's
Right.
not, and sometimes it's not an intentional thing. Like it's not like oh shit, yeah, you got to have an Everclear experience. No, not everybody does, but most likely if you're doing some drinking when you probably shouldn't be, you're probably going to come across some Everclear. Like if you've ever gone to a house party, you probably consume some Everclear because it's cheap and
Almost
easy to
definitely.
get done in mass. Like so that so there are some things. It's like yeah, we've all been we've all been at that point in life where it's like okay, I'm trying to do this for as little money as possible. Bingo, that's where you go. And in this realm, Everclear is one of those things. Or you could have been like plastic bottle liquor. Yeah, everybody knows what plastic bottle liquor is because once again, it's that bottom shelf, generally cheap. And like I say, y'all are missing that in certain elements or certain realms, like
Yeah.
like TV shows, consuming media. Because like for example, like even though we had different Saturday morning cartoons, me and my father could still share in the experience of, oh, these are my Saturday morning cartoons. These were his.
Right. Right.
We know the experience. Y'all don't know what a fucking Saturday morning cartoon is, or y'all don't know the specialness of Saturday morning cartoons. Because by the time y'all came around, cartoons were on 24/7 on about 5 or 6 different channels.
Right.
like
Right. Right. It's
so, it's
it's so different, It's just different, right? Because and even to that mindset, the generation coming up now, they won't know what it feels like to have like a government phone or a track phone and the kind of roasting that you would get for having a track phone because everybody is able to do name brand now. You know what I'm saying? So, certain things are being done away with that, and I guess you could start really, really seeing that with my generation because that's when most of your modern day innovation started happening where you did away with things of old.
mm, it's not we'll get into this deeper on another day. It's not that the innovations happened with y'all. Y'all were at the accumulation point of so much innovation and invention and technology advancing that y'all hit this point because every generation has had innovation and technology. What happened with
Right,
y'all?
right, right, right.
Y'all got to this point that it hit warp speed or things came together so fast, everything kind of started to conglomerate. Because what we're seeing is really a conglomeration of different things now within the technology. And for y'all have hit this consolidation in this new digital world
Right.
that didn't exist before. So now it's everything is centered here and it's all moving so fast that it's like it got to y'all, and y'all was like the takeoff point, and it's been running warp speed ever since. Whereas before it was like, even with technologies, innovations, and things, you had some different changes about maybe how things were done or the particular piece of tech. Like think of it like this: there's really no difference between a DVD and a VHS. They're the same type of, they're doing the same thing. You have to own this physical piece of media and be able to put it in a system that can read it. So that experience between my, VHS day people and DVD people, yeah, different mediums, but it's the same experience. Versus
Right,
it's now it's streaming. That's a complete, and having a vast library. That's a completely different experience than me having to have a physical collection. And anytime I want something, I have to have it physically to be able to plug it into my medium. Now it's all there as long as somebody gives it to you, gives you access. So it's so completely different. And so which will I'm looking forward to exploring the different ways that happens on this show,
yeah,
because
that's
it's
that's gonna be a great conversation.
across the variety of things. That's why I think y'all are such a pivot point, because it's so many things are so much different than any other generation prior to it. And for some things it's better, for some things it's worse. And I think that's part of the interesting thing is she's like, yeah, it can sound great. Y'all can have these like, yeah, life is so great right now, but it's also kind of like, yeah, but here's the bad aspects. Like my take. Y'all are lonely
Right.
as fuck. Y'all are lonelier than probably any other generation before. When y'all shouldn't be, because y'all are so damn connected. But like I said, it's gonna be interesting to dive through. But yeah, that's a shared experience. And there's beauty in that, even in something like that. It's not a haze. It's just part of life.
Man, that's a great take. I ain't gonna hold you.
All right.
That was amazing.
That's what we do here. This is Y and Z, the divide. I'm the Y, the millennial. He's the Gen Z. We're different generations coming together to talk about life.
Yeah,
The differences, where things are similar, how things are similar yet different, complete, whatever it may be. We're gonna talk about it from our viewpoints. If you've got something, let us know. Holler at us on social media. Hit a comment. Give us some. You got to take against one of us. Bring it. We want the smoke. Like we here to talk about it all. This ain't no mansplaining podcast. This ain't a sports podcast. This ain't
right, right.
life podcast. We'll get into a variety of topics, and that's just what we do here. So hit us up, like, share, subscribe, and that's the first half of the show. The back half ain't as long. What we do here on the second part is, after kind of grilling each other, we want to share something with one another. We come to one another with a recommendation. And so, what kind of recommendation you gonna try and put this old head on this week, brother?
Saying that you are an old head is just so nicely put together. But I gotta put you on. I kind of want to go two different ways, but I'm gonna stick with one way. I
Okay.
want to put you on a show that I've been watching.
Okay.
It's 10 out of 10. I promise you, it's a newer show.
Okay.
And I think it's so good though, because well, I mean, it's not a newer show. It's been on for like what, maybe 2 or 3 years now.
That's
Well, no,
current.
actually,
It's
not
current.
not too. So, but I think it's so good because it still has almost hints of your generation's comedic style in it. But I love Abbott Elementary.
Oh, shout out Quentin Brunson winning
I
that
freaking
night.
love. It's so good, and that style. And to now, give me this, I love that style of television. Anyway, the Modern Family style, the Office style television shows, almost like a docu series.
Yeah,
I love that style of television. So I guess I'm kind of like a little bit biased. Some
I
people,
would
it's
say
not their cup of tea.
I wouldn't say that's ours. I would actually say that's probably your generation. Like y'all can own that, because that's really something that came. Like I said, off the Office was like the first one of that. So I would really say that's something that came up in
Yeah,
the late 2000s, 2010s. So this is right in your wheelhouse. This is your thing. But no,
man.
we
Because
are
yeah, I
avid
mean,
fans.
y'all dominated sitcoms. I'd arguably say that my generation, our sitcoms aren't that great.
That's a discussion for another day. Ooh, but yeah, yeah, y'all don't get into sitcoms like that.
Don't
Like,
roast us too bad. We don't. It's. I don't know if they're just having problems with finding sitcoms that could match y'all sitcom because y'all sitcoms were legendary.
Anything prior to y'all is legendary, but different era, different day. Oh, we gonna have that discussion. Yeah, no, no. But back to your recommendation. Yeah, Abbott Elementary. Okay, what February? It comes back in like a couple weeks, right?
Yes,
Third.
sir.
Looking forward
That's
to
what
it.
I wanted to put. So if you go on there and start binging now,
Oh no, I've seen it. We like I said,
oh,
we are Abbott lovers here. We love that show. Once again, shout out to Quinta and yeah, big Abbott fans. Yeah, so looking forward to it. All right, solid. You got good taste there. You got good taste. For my recommendation this week, um, there's a docu series on Netflix.
oh,
It's called World War II from the Front Lines, and I want to recommend it simply because as I was watching it, everybody likes to get on y'all's generation now because we all have cameras and everybody's recording everything, and you hear that all the time. I was sitting there watching it like there's a like is it does it's a docu series that takes you from the start of the war to the end from a variety of different viewpoints. You get the English viewpoint, you get the German, you get German viewpoints, you get African viewpoints.
yeah,
It's telling you from the perspectives of people who were involved in these things,
man,
the story of the war. And what really jumped out at me was how much of this is on footage. Like, coming up in
really,
coming up in school, it's like, okay, you're reading it in books, you're seeing
right, right,
maybe you're seeing the occasional video, old school black and white reel, and you're seeing the same things over and over again. Bruh, this was like 6, 7 episodes, hour-long episodes, and it's literally just straight footage from the war and all these different encounters. And so it was like, I'm not gonna, it was blowing my mind because I'm like, this is the 1940s. Like, everybody recording didn't become a super popular thing until the 80s with like handhelds, and even then they were big as fuck. So I'm just sitting here watching like, so you're telling me somebody in multiple places, so multiple, like a lot of people were lugging around who knows what equipment,
right.
and like it's it was literally incredible to see the war in motion. Like, it's not pic, this is video in color.
What?
Like, it was so one, it's crazy to see like this old school war, but also there's that much footage. And I'm just saying, like, yo, people been recording as much as they can for as long as they can at any point. And I'm just like, and so it's almost like I want to be like everybody getting on Gen Z for being so we want to record this, we want to be on video. And I'm like, we've literally been doing this already for 100 years. It may not be.
Bro, so a person came up to me the other day and they was like, "Do you know who Huey Long is?" And I was like, "No, I don't know who that is." He was like, "Pull out your phone and search him up." I searched up Huey Long. Huey Long was the governor of Louisiana in like the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
Even got to the point where he ran against FDR for the president.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But Huey D. Long was like a 1930s dictator. He was not only the governor of Louisiana, but he was also the senator. So he basically had Louisiana run like a dictatorship. The man was like, yeah, Huey Long was like the Donald Trump of the 1930s. And I was like, whoa. And the more you just read, I was just like, it's almost like a lot of things get blamed on our generation just because we have the coverage. But what if the same coverage
See,
happened back then, right?
that's an interesting, yeah, because it's sitting you're sitting like, oh wow. And these aren't like they're telling the stories of some of the majors encounters, right? But then
Right,
they're
right, right,
also
right.
telling some of these smaller encounters or these things that you're not really reading, or might have been a sentence that you read in the book. And it's just like it was mind blowing. So like definitely if you're into history or just want to have your mind blown for a second, it was like, wow, like I said, I'm not recommending it for being a World War II doc. Like, it's decent.
Right, 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 right.
It doesn't touch everything. It's very surface level high based on the stories that they're telling via these recordings. It was just a little mind blowing. Like, wow, like we've been recording history for as long as we can in whatever way we can, and don't let them like don't blame Gen Z for this. Everybody got a camera out because apparently
Nah,
they've
for
been
real.
doing it for a long time, and so it was just a little mind blowing. But yeah,
And
very
even
very
and
solid.
even then, if people actually correctly kept paper records, I would love to go back and read some of these smaller town newspapers because I know they were juicy. Because back then,
Oh
while
yeah, oh
everyone
yeah,
did not have a camera,
oh
oh,
yeah.
they wrote everything.
Oh, it makes me wonder. Okay, what other footage is out there? Like, let's
Right. What
out
other
there.
footage?
What else
Right.
is out there? Like, because it does something else different than like it's different than just seeing it on a page in a newspaper. Or, like seeing like that visual medium is strong. That's one of the reasons why the civil rights movement was what it was because people could see it on TV and saw this. It's just
Right.
wild.
Right.
It's like, oh, wow, like it makes it real. So yeah, check out World War II from the front lines on Netflix. That's my recommendation this week.
Dope, man. I'm doing that for real. I'm a history buff. I like history anyway.
I
So
thought I thought I
being
thought
able to being able to see that video is gonna like it hits different. It just hits different.
it does. It does. But that's what as once again, bam. That's it. That's what we do here on Y and Z. We talk about life from the perspectives of different generations, where we're different, where
Yeah.
we're similar. Like, share, subscribe. If you got to take, hit us, holler at us, let us know. We want the smoke. We'll bring the smoke. Like I said, this we'll get into whatever. And you see, we just not we not just gonna do some surface level stuff. We're gonna touch on some why Gen Z is messed up. Messed up. What's y'all
Man,
it ain't all there. It
please.
ain't all there. But we love you nonetheless. J Clark 787 on all social medias. That's Xavier Lewis, the real Xavier Lewis on all social medias. Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit us up. And yeah, until next time, peace.
Peace.